Hey guys, welcome to the very first podcast episode from ProgramHub, and today in this episode we're going to discuss about minimalism. So we have a guest joining in today with us, Darshan, and we welcome you, Darshan, to our first podcast show.
Thank you for calling me on your show, Vishal.
So Darshan has been practicing minimalism for the past 3 to 4 years.
Yes.
Right. So we'll be trying to understand some of the concepts of minimalism, and probably this is something that we don't need to understand right now, but because he has been practicing it for a very long time in his life now, so we'll be trying to understand some of the things that he practiced as being a minimalist person, because I am not a minimalist person, so specifically we'll be trying to understand. So Darshan, how would you define minimalism at to the very first point of?
Okay, so let's start with how minimalism was introduced to me. So I was searching internet for decluttering. Actually, minimalism was not the first concept that came towards me. I was searching how to declutter your bedroom. Yeah, that was the first search.
Okay, that means you came across through a topic.
Yeah, I was searching how to declutter your bedroom, and in that there was a video of Matt Diavela. Okay, so Matt Diavela, he's a minimalist. So I saw his video, and then the concept of minimalism was introduced to me. So as an amateur, when we start practicing minimalism first, what we feel is we need to throw away everything that we have with us and live an empty life. I used to see minimalism as empty walls, plain white walls.
And that is something most of the people.
Yeah, most of the people in the world relate minimalism as
with
in
the
that
empty
way.
walls,
Yeah, with empty
white
walls.
things, and
Throw your parents out of your house and
yeah,
live alone with solitude and all. But not minimalism. Slowly on the path, we figure it out that minimalism is not throwing everything that we own, but using everything with proper care, and each and every thing that you have with you, you need to respect that. So let's say, for an example, if I get a bicycle and I just for an example, if I have a bicycle and I'm not using it, so I'm not practicing minimalism. See, it's as simple as that.
That comes into the concept of minimalism, that if you have a bicycle and if you're not using bicycle, so
Well, then
should
what's
it-
the point of having it? So it is cluttering your life, right?
So should we throw off the bicycle if I'm not using it?
Yeah, you should give away the bicycle if you're not using
So
it. Yeah.
suppose if I'm not even using something in my house right now,
Yeah.
so we should probably get rid of that.
Yeah.
Is that the concept of minimalism, or is it something more?
Obviously, we need to figure it out.
If we figure it out, so at an usual moment of time, as I being like a tech geek person, I'm usually very much fond of having products, and especially new products. So I usually have 2 to 3 laptops at a moment of time. Every time we have 2 to 3 laptops here and there around with me, but I use only one at a time. So can I have 2 to 3 laptops and use one at a time? Will that be called as a minimalism?
See, look, if you're using a thing, okay,
Right.
I'm not saying you need to use your things daily, but if you're using your things,
So
let's
if
say,
in the scenario go back to the scenario of the bicycle, if I have a bicycle and if I use it once in a while, but
Yes.
it stays unused for a very long time, so
then there is no point of having it.
there's no point of having it. So how would it affect a person's life by not having it and having it? Like, can we amplify the meaning of minimalism a little bit more apart just from having the things?
See, if we read our the ancient textures or
Right.
ancient text or scripts that ancient saints have written, so they have always said that we need to get rid of all the materialistic life. Okay, if we understood it properly, they have always said that we need to get rid of all the materials or the materialistic life,
Right.
and we need to follow more to the abstracts. So
Right.
in that way, if a particular thing is of no use to you, and you are keeping it, your home will feel like clutter. Now this is not just a concept of single bicycle. Okay, there are a lot of things when we go out and we just simply buy for the sake of that moment, and we keep it in our house, and it is there for I don't know, for a whole life.
Yeah, and we don't even tend to throw that away because that's a new product and we have just bought it, not even used it.
And we are not using in, we are also not using it. So it clutters our house. And when the house is cluttered, see when...
so can we relate the concept of minimalism to something as essentialism?
Essentialism is the right word for minimalism. Yes, you can say it as essentialism.
So we need to only keep up those things that are essential to us.
True.
And use them, like it can be kept for a good period of time, but we are using it and those products are essential to us.
So I have a
because
simple...
specifically if you look at to the word minimalism, it comes from the word minimum.
Yes.
So that does not mean that I should have only 2 shirts and I should be wearing those 2 shirts alternatively. Because if that is in concept, we bring it to OE at this period of time. Most of the people think that minimalism is all about having just little number of things around us and nothing more than that. So I feel that most people don't understand the right meaning of being a minimalist or this concept of minimalism.
Yes. It's for we can say that the advertisement they are doing of minimalism is wrong.
Yeah, we do understand, because specifically for the people in different nations, the concept of minimalism can differ.
Yes.
Like what people are... See, if we go to United States, specifically in United States, people have those kind of houses, those kind of rooms and apartments already there that are white walled. Then their furnitures are different. And if we move down to India, so that is completely different.
Yeah, it's a completely different scene. So in the
we have different environments, different structures, different furniture. So we cannot relate minimalism from United States to India. That's a completely different perspective. Yeah. So the most important thing that is over here that is to be understood, I think, so that should be the concept, like what is the real truth of minimalism. It's not just about having white walls and white desks around you.
Yes.
Okay, so how could we move ahead to understand, like, if that is not... So if the advertisement is wrong, as we see on internet, on YouTube about minimalism, because most videos are very much, I can say, well shot, cinematically shot.
Cinematically shot, and
that would
is
be
the
a much more better.
Good cameras they are using.
Good cameras,
like this one.
Good direction, good lights, good perspective. And usually we think so that if we don't have those kind of things, those kind of environments in our house, so we cannot practice minimalism.
No, that's completely wrong. So minimalism is not only... See, this is the starting. When I started talking about the concept of minimalism, I started from the very first time minimalism was introduced to me. Okay, so I found out this concept of minimalism because of decluttering. So if it were not for the first step, that is decluttering, maybe minimalism would not have introduced to me. So decluttering will be the first step, and it is an essential step. Even though there are a lot of theories where people says that just minimalism is not only getting rid of the stuffs that you don't use, but yeah, it is an essential first step. Because now let me tell you how I practice decluttering first. Okay, there are some steps we need to follow. We just not have to simply throw away the things that we have. So I made a small procedure to let go things. So we have to make 3 boxes and we have to give them name as resale, donate, or let go. And then get all your things and put that things in the boxes as per the name of the boxes. So one by one, put all the things according to the boxes, or whatever you feel that this thing should be donated, or this thing should be resold on the whatever sites we have, or some things we just need to let it go or throw in the garbage.
That's
Okay, so because we cannot sell it or we cannot even donate those
Right.
things, so we need to throw it away. So in the 3 boxes, we have to put those things into 3 boxes, and after every day when wake up in the morning, we need to look at those boxes. And if we are not using that those particular things for let's say quite some time, let's say for a month, if we are not using that things, we really need to let those things get away. But sometimes if we feel that no, this thing I'm in need of this particular thing, we need to keep that thing back. So this is how I started decluttering my things. And slowly I also find out that minimalism is not only having less things with you, it is having minimalism is not having only less things with you, but it is more of a having essential things
right.
that you need.
So how does the lifestyle changes when we adopt this concept of minimalism? How does the lifestyle changes? What, like, particularly to your perspective, how it has changed your life, and what are the effects that you now see as a better part of being a minimalist?
Okay, so let's say from the benefits of my health. Okay,
Right.
yeah, so it first benefited my health. So when I started practicing minimalism, I also reduced the number of times I eat in a day. Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I started to do. I don't know how, but it helped me. It helped my body to recover fast. So now I eat twice a day only. So
Including breakfast,
no,
dinner.
no, nothing. Just either breakfast or dinner, or lunch or dinner.
Okay.
That's it. So in that way, I'm saving my money. Also, my overall health is developing. I don't know, but eating less or eating essential helps your body to recover fast from whatever problems you have in your body. So when we eat something, the process of digestion starts, and it takes quite a while to digest the food that we eat.
Okay.
So our whole body, instead of repairing some problems in our body, it starts the process of digestion.
So it's not like a machine that is again and again loaded up with something.
Yeah. We need to have a fixed number of time for
Right.
everything. So minimalism.
So even the stomach needs to rest for a moment of
Yes.
time.
Even stomach needs minimalism.
Right. It needs.
Okay. And also the food we eat, so it also should be minimalist, because when we eat a lot of different variety of food at one time, our stomach get confused to
Yeah. Even our systems get confused. as to
systems
it.
get confused to digest it. So minimalism is a concept we can use in everything, every day, everything, everywhere, even
Right.
in eating habits also. So
Right.
this way my body gets recovered fast, or my body is healing fast, and with that I'm also saving money because I'm eating twice in a day.
Right.
Also now I can keep record of what all the things I have to purchase. And
Absolutely.
yeah, in that way, so the monthly ration that I have to go to the grocery and buy the ration, the
Right.
as I can say, I used to spend, let's say 10,000 for 10,000
Previously.
a month for particular amount of food.
Hmm.
Today also I'm spending 10,000 per month for particular amount of food, but now I'm spending it for a good quality of food.
Right.
Need to understand,
And-
which is more organic.
So previously you used to buy that into quantity, but
Yeah.
now the quantity has decreased, but the quality has increased.
Yes, it's true.
Because now you're having less number of meals in
Yes.
a day.
And that helped me to improve the quality of the food that I'm going
So
to
don't
buy.
you feel that missing factor that previously you used to have food anytime, any moment when you used to like to have it?
So whenever we start a good thing, it's always hard. But if
Particularly.
we stick to it,
Yeah, I do understand
Stick
that.
to it.
It's kind of a discipline.
Yeah.
So to maintain that kind of an habit,
Yeah.
anything that we are trying to learn or we are trying to practice takes time, and as it essentially takes you. See, our minds are made to resist to the new things. It's not an easy process to adopt anything that is new, whether you want to learn something whether you want to develop a lifestyle or whether you want to practice something that is just out of your way. So our minds are developed in such a way that it needs to resist you to not to do that. It will give you thousand reasons that you shouldn't be doing this.
Yes. And also once I remember that once you introduced me to a concept of this 21 days practicing.
Right.
Whatever we need to practice, if we practice it for 21 days, we get the habit of it.
21 days makes
Yeah.
an habit, and 90 days will make you
I
a
think
lifestyle.
I have seen one of your videos in which
we talked about it.
We talked about it.
It was specifically, I think so, it was all about journaling your days.
Yes, and in that video, the concept of 21 days. So whatever we are practicing, even if we going for gym or so we have to develop a habit or develop a routine. If we practice it for 21 days, for first 21 days, let's say for first 7 days, it's hard, it's brain damaging. But after 7th day or 8th day, you will start feeling the good vibes, the positivity coming out of it, and slowly you'll develop the habit, and your personality will get changed. You'll become calm slowly by the time.
Essentially, there's something that I read, that what we see as success is not in one day process. This is ultimately a habit into an consistent pattern that has been repeated again and again, and that leads to success. So even success comes up with the same formula of habit. And even what this concept of minimalism, even this comes through an habit.
Yes, we need to practice it daily. So it's not just
so
we
what
need
would
to
you suggest for any person? Should everyone practice minimalism, or is it okay to not be a minimalist person?
It's okay to not to be a minimalist person. See,
so how would it affect the life of that person who won't practice minimalism?
Now I have a friend. Let me tell you why it's okay to not be a minimalist. So I have a friend, and he likes things.
Right.
He likes things besides him, and that makes him happy.
Right.
Okay, so he always goes out and buy things, and his room is full of clutter, and that is how he needs to keep his room, and in that way his productivity gets increased. I mean, if he cleans the room, and like if you'll see my bedroom, it everything is on its place and it is
Right.
very clean, but in that environment he cannot work. So if he wants to be productive, he needs clutter.
Okay, get that.
So minimalism is it's not compulsory for everyone to be a minimalist and then go through the path of success. It's also that if you want to be happy, it's also
That
about
is a much more important factor over here, apart from just being a minimalist person.
You also need to be happy and calm if you're practicing it. It's not that I'm practicing minimalism but I'm not happy with it, so don't practice it. If you don't want to throw away the things, don't keep it with you. It's just if the decluttering or if the empty rooms are giving you the solitude, the happiness and the calmness and the peace in your life, then only practice minimalism.
We do understand. So one thing that essentially comes down to me is that decluttering is something that is really important. I do understand the fundamental of decluttering things, because what we don't need is something we just don't need it. So that has to go some or the other way.
Yes.
Now, whether it's through the concept of minimalism, whether it's through that lifestyle, or whether it's not through that lifestyle, but decluttering is something that we do need. Because ultimately, at to the end moment of time, if you have piled up a lot of things around you, you won't be able to have a space for the new things that is to be coming.
And if we see, we need to understand that how you were raised, okay, and what are the things you knew when your parents were raising you, what all the things they taught you. So if we see, let's say from a perspective of an Indian family, okay, Indian families are not very much minimalistic, although we have the concept of minimalism from the ancient scriptures,
Right.
but still the concept of minimalism is not very prominent in countries like India, let's say. Southeast Asian countries.
Right.
Because see, we have small homes,
Right.
and we need to keep everything in that home. So cluttering is what we saw while growing up. So we
Right.
don't find anything not normal into those things.
Right.
We believe that things are going to get us somewhere.
It's kind of living into an storeroom, I
Yes.
think. So
Yeah.
what we can conclude this to, because usually into nations like America, then these developed nations, not developing nations like Australia, these countries, they do, all the houses do have a storeroom to keep up the things that are not, that
Yeah,
they
not
do not
essential,
use,
yes.
not essential.
Yeah, true.
Right. But in India, we don't have a specific area. Firstly, we have. But in
Like this. Like this. Everything in one room.
But in India, we don't have a lot of space to, or we can say that we don't even have a storeroom.
Yes.
So we need to keep those things, or we need to accommodate those things along with us. And that brings us to this concept that we don't, and by living with those things around with us, so automatically we are okay with it. So we don't have any problem with those products being lying around us. So this concept ultimately does not lead anywhere. It does not comes even to us of minimalism.
Yeah, and our minds are developed in that ways, and not only the families.
We
but
are now developed with that kind of a mentality.
Yeah, minds were developed. Also the environment, also the advertisements.
Right.
Everything. This is the advertisement has adversely affected the concept of minimalism
Right.
in the country, and so these all things together has helped to hide the minimalism.
So even though we want to accept this, that we want to be a minimalist in India, it's a little bit difficult to be a minimalist in India
Yes,
specifically, because now we need to adjust between the things that we don't need, and we certainly can't throw them away, or
Yes.
you keep that into a storeroom specifically, so that if I'll need it after 3 years of time, I can bring it back.
Also, I've seen in Western countries there, when a kid grows over the age of 18 years, they tend to leave their home and stay
They move
alone.
away from the parents.
They move away from the parents and stay. Like they start earning their daily bread
Right.
by their own and living alone. So in that case, they get a complete whole house of their own, where they can practice whatever they want.
But in India, that's not possible.
That's not the case in the country.
And specifically in South Asian
South
countries.
Asian nation, because the area is small, and in that small area we have to spend our lives first with our parents, then with our families.
Right.
So to at least to introduce the concept of minimalism to the Indian families, we need to actually make a system that will actually work in India
Right.
for minimalism.
Get that.